And the issue of antitrust is of long standing. The basic antitrust legislation was enacted in 1890, and we've had many ups and downs in its applications. The law is supposed to promote competition, but on the whole, it probably does more to promote monopoly than it does competition. Moreover, it involves a very inefficient interference by the government into the dynamics of the economy. Monopoly is a real problem, but it tends to be transitory, to be very short-lived in most cases. The only ways in which monopoly can last is when it has government backing. Business in general has something of a suicidal instinct. It often proposes laws in its own self-interest which destroy the underlying basis of the whole private enterprise system. I believe that is what has been happening recently in the computer industry. Silicon Valley is suicidal in calling government in to mediate in its disputes among some of the big companies in the area and Microsoft. The end result will be that an industry that up to now has been able to proceed at a marvelous pace with little or no government regulation. It has been a wonderful example of the efficiencies of a strictly free private market. That industry is now going to have government all over it. It's going to spend in legal fees over the next 10 or 20 years, money which society would benefit from much more if it were spent in the kind of research and development that has brought us the many miracles in the area of internet, in the area of home computers, industry computers, and all the rest. Silicon Valley has been very fortunate precisely for that reason. Up until a few years ago, it wasn't even involved in making big contributions to Washington. It neither had to spend money to buy the legislators, nor did it have to spend money conforming to detailed regulations. And as a result, it was able to devote all of its efforts and energies to improving its product. Now, the situation is changing. It's very hard to name a private monopoly which has been able to maintain itself in the absence of government, of a government-granted monopoly. One case in antitrust which you might regard as a success was the breakup of the telephone company. But AT&T was a government-provided monopoly. And as a result, it did have monopolistic effect. Its breakup did have good results in opening the door to further competition. I think that the main harm which will be done will be the waste of resources that could otherwise be used productively. But you won't prevent competition. You won't prevent further advance. You'll slow it down. The reality is that we are much less free now than we were 50 years ago. Government is bigger, takes a larger fraction of our income, it imposes more controls on us. But I think a much more reliable source of optimism is the growth of the internet.